Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. Been doing just a little look at the New King James Version and it as a translation. How accurate is it to the underlying Greek and Hebrew text, the received text, Textus Receptus? Let's get started. We're in Trinitarian Bible Society's April through June 224 magazine, and it says this. We're seeing right now, we're looking, does it follow formal equivalence, which is basically word for word, or is it given to dynamic equivalence? So let's start with Jeremiah 1:17. Thanks for being here. In the Authorized Version, the King James, it says, gird up thy loins. The New King James says, prepare yourself. Now, this is more than translation. It is the translators trying to interpret the text. In Hebrew, it's going to be gird up your loins, which means that was like a precursor to pants for men. 2 Corinthians 7:2, the AV, King James says, receive us, we have wronged no man. New King James, open your hearts to us, we have wronged no one. So the simple phrase has been unnecessarily altered. It's not following the Greek text in this instance. In Psalm 94:19, in the Authorized Version, in the multitude of my thoughts within me. In the New King James Version, in the multitude of my anxieties within me. Now you can see it doesn't mean the same thing. People say it's just easier to read. Certainly doesn't just mean the same thing. Thoughts, not anxieties. The Hebrew word is literally thoughts and should be translated so. But the New King James translators are including their interpretation in the translation. Proverbs 4:18, but the path of the just is as the shining light. New King James, but the path of the just is like the shining sun. The Hebrew is a light of brightness. Shining light, a light of brightness. And it's rendered as the New King James as sun. S-U-N. So you can see, no, it doesn't adhere fully to formal equivalence. It's using dynamic equivalence, interpretive understanding. Now, italics. I've done some videos in times past. There's great books written on italics, number of italicized words in like the King James. It shows an honest translation showing, look, this isn't in the original Hebrew and Greek. This is something that just is necessary to make it understandable in English. And we laud the New King James, unlike most modern translations, for using supplied words, italicized words. Let's get started a little bit on that too. So does the New King James clearly show supplied words? The AV uses italics to show words which have been added to give sense in the English. These are called supplied words. Meanwhile, the New King James has italics for supplied words, but also uses a strikingly similar oblique type for Old Testament quotations in the New Testament, causing confusion to the reader. Like if it's a prophecy from, or a quote from the Old Testament and the New, it'll kind of look like italicized words. I remember the first time I really ran into this, it's better to marry than to burn. The New King James just put in italics, in lust, because they believe in once saved, always saved. They couldn't put in hell, so. Further difficulties also arise when the New King James adds words but does not put them in italics. Now, this is one example. It gives Mark 9:18. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth. Talking about the demon-possessed boy. New King James, and wherever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth. The New King James adds the words at the mouth, but does not put them in italics, causing the reader to assume they're in the original text. You might say, well, what's the big deal? Because if you add one word to the Bible, it's not supposed to be there. That's the reason those plagues are going to be added to you, found in the book of Revelation. Yikes. So God bless you. Thanks for being here. Join us daily. Share with your friends, family, church family, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.